We have from Only Woods here. Want to build something together? Like your shelves? No. Nerds, read any exciting books lately? No.
I read the Quran.
Yeah. I normally don't read exciting books. I normally read the books I read are usually not what I would call exciting.
They're called super exciting.
AP, look into Moringa. I have something similar of what you have, the joint pain, and it helped me. Maybe it'll help you. You know that commercial.
No.
If your joints are hurting, just get some Moringa. Yeah.
I shall do that. Okay, I'm going to look into it. Yeah.
I just made up that theme song, but Moringa, if you're welcome to use that for your commercial. Convert AP leads to Convert Istanbul, and that leads to Constantinople. The return of Constantinople. They're saying you set it off. You started it. If God didn't exist,
I told them when I get baptized, I'm gonna retake Constantinople. So it's already in motion.
We have, if God didn't exist, what would we expect to see in Diddy's case? Also, is Diddy saved if he drinks communion and glazes the creepy Pope boy? Not sure what you're on about here. If God didn't exist, I wouldn't expect any of this to happen because I wouldn't expect a universe or individuals or human consciousness or any sort of moral law that would be a problem for what Diddy's doing. Did you guys see the recent Shake It Off on breastfeeding? I actually saw that after I set up this live stream. And then I was thinking, hey, maybe we should go through the Shake It Off video and then talk about the breastfeeding issue. But anyway, I'd already set this one up. So I've pretty much lost everything and now suffering from loneliness. But hearing you say Christ doesn't protect you from suffering, he walks with you through it is powerful. Thank you, D. Wood. Yeah, I mean it does suck, but that's you are not in a perfect world yet.
You're not?
Nope, not yet.
That's weird.
Nope, we are in a fallen, messed up world right now. I have a dark theory, no pun intended. When the Muslim gangs started targeting black women, when the Muslim gangs start targeting black women, there will be a civil war. They primarily targeted white women because of Islam, racist origins, and weird fetish for light skin and hair. Well, I mean, if you're talking about the grape gangs in Great Britain, yeah, they're targeting white girls. Yet they do seem to have a fetish, especially Pakistani guys who are, in large part, the perpetrators do seem to have a fetish for white girls, and you have lots of them who aren't attracted to black girls and so on. But yeah, I mean, there may be a different reaction if they're doing it to non-white girls. Let's donate Gaza with holy camel urine. From an Islamic perspective, you say what? This will clear all the stomach problems.
This will probably solve the problem. This will make you victorious.
Romans 16:16. I want to give you a holy smooch, AP. Yep. Greet one another with a holy smooch. This is what happens when you throw Jordan's pen pal in a prison with solitary confinement.
Powerful.
That's true. Get a pen pal, eh? You see, Constantine converted AP. Constantine is very powerful. AP, for the pain, look into crack cocaine or meth. You heard it here. I don't know why you laughing.
Solid suggestion.
AP, you should, and plus you got money to do it. You got a fair amount of money now to carry on a drug problem. AP, you should complete your re-Hellenization by learning Greek and encouraging other Turkish ex-Muslims to do the same. Make a movement out of it. That would be funny, especially if you're going like Eastern Orthodox. You're like, no, all Turks must convert to Eastern Orthodoxy and learn Greek.
That would be very funny. It would be very cool. I decided to start learning how to read Greek, but learning Greek itself is probably a little bit difficult. I don't know. But what would be better? It would be to just to force all Turks to become Christians as well.
That would be better.
Yeah.
Coleman Hughes pointed out with Dawkins, Scandinavians are the happiest in the world, but religious Scandinavians are even happier. Food for thought. Hey, that's interesting.
That's funny.
So like, oh, but look, Scandinavians are the happiest people in the world. Points out, yeah, but the religious Scandinavians are even happier. That'd be interesting. Yeah. Hey, where'd that happen, Paul? Wouldn't mind checking that out. AP, don't go carnivore unless you want a stroke. What's your response to people saying is... Wait, and then it goes in a completely different top. AP,
Yeah,
don't go carnivore unless you want a stroke.
I don't think I will go to a carnivore diet or anything. I don't buy your carnivore, but
I have to say, you've got all these testimonies about how it helped people. I'm just thinking about it. It seems like that is like disastrous. If I thought, hey, we're just going to eat meat and that's it. It's like, wait, what? Where are you getting all this other stuff that you need?
It sounds to me as bad as going vegan.
Yeah, which is why you'd want to say, have your vegetables and your meat too. Then you're getting the best of both worlds. And that's weird. I have to say, I would probably be more persuaded to go carnivore before I'd go vegan. And I don't care if you're watching this, Tarun. Okay, so we have AP, don't go carnivore unless you want a stroke. What's your response to people saying Islam isn't evil because peace treaties exist with places like Egypt?
Well, that has nothing to do with Islam. Egypt is led by a secular government, and was mostly led by a secular government with the first and only attempt to install an Islamic government. It led to a big outrage and was taken down brutally, which happened a little bit over 10 years ago. That has nothing to do with Islam.
Yeah,
nothing to do with Islam. And even if you have Islamic governments here and there, they can figure out occasionally to make peace. But does that really mean that therefore Islam is not a problem? Of course not. Look at the history of Islam. Look at what Islam commands. Look at how Islamic societies generally unfold. Look at how Islam rules internally. Look at how minorities in Muslim countries are doing, and so on.
Yeah, so in general, UPZYYS, the anti-carnivore spokesman of the world, you don't judge an ideology based on the people who veer away from it. You judge it based on what it actually teaches and the people who actually adhere to it. And so Egypt adheres to it in a sense because you have a Muslim majority population and so on. But anything you would look at and say is peaceful. Islam calls for the violent subjugation of the entire world. That, at the end of the day, that's what it calls for. And so if someone isn't doing that or doesn't think they're able to do that yet and therefore doesn't do it, that does not mean that Islam doesn't call for that. Islam is defined not by Islam is not, has never been, and never will be defined by Egypt or by some other country. Islam is defined by the Muslim sources, and it is not pretty. Carnivore diet really hard during Lent. I give up everything except steak for Lent. AP, any fashion styling tips? Also, any tips on quitting my meth addiction? David, you need some Cartier buffs in Jesus' name. I don't know what any of this means.
I would say do exactly what you're doing. Do exactly what you're doing right now.
Oh, okay. There you have it. Either of you seen Passion of the Christ? Yeah, I went to see the Passion of the Christ with Shabir Ali years ago.
I saw it several times, and in the past, I kind of respected it a little bit more than quite recently. I tried watching it again recently, and compared it to watching the older movie, Jesus of Nazareth. Mm-hmm. And now I really like the Jesus of Nazareth movie and find the whole Passion of Christ movie a little bit weird.
Yeah, I never saw the Jesus of Nazareth film.
What?
What's really going for the Passion of the Christ was, I mean, you had this really awesome big budget movie directed by Mel Gibson and so on. And I have to say, the scourging in lots of Christian movies is not Roman scourging. They called the scourging the half death because you'd be half dead by the time the scourging was finished. But it wasn't just meant to randomly beat you. It was meant to weaken you. right? They didn't want some strong young rebel against the Roman Empire kicking and fighting as they're trying to put nails into this guy, right? They wanted you by the time you were getting crucified to be like, oh, fine, just get it over with and have no energy left. Hence the lashing and letting your blood drain out of you and so on. So anyway, what was interesting was they actually, because I remember watching it, and at first they start beating him with rods, and I was thinking, they would have been using a flagrum, and it would have been way, way, way bloodier than this. And all of a sudden they pull out a flagrum, and I'm like, whoa, they're not going to show this, are they? And yeah, they showed it. So that was the benefit. With that said, there may be better movies than that. I don't know.
I heard some expert analysis takes on the amount of blood and torture in the movie, The Passion of Christ, and the general perspective seems to be that in reality it was probably much worse than what you see in the movie.
Not pretty. I tried the carnivore diet and lived to 200 years old. I went carnivore, lost 10 pounds, all joint pain, and my anxiety attacks almost completely disappeared and had a lot more energy. Highly suggest. This is interesting that there are all these people here who tried this diet that I thought was probably 10 people in the world tried it.
You're a goat. How do you go carnivore? What are you talking about, man?
Yeah. All I do is eat my fellow goats. AP, what about redubbing D. Wood's Islamic Dilemma into Turkish and German? D. Wood, what do you think about it? Well, AP wouldn't need to do that, but Abu Haruf, just be patient. We are doing our big Islamic Dilemma project, but at the end, one of the goals will be to make some select videos which give awesome presentations of the Islamic Dilemma, and to get people to translate them into as many languages as possible. But the goal will be getting people to actually record their own videos in other languages with the Islamic Dilemma video. With that said, I've gotten a notification for YouTube that they're about to start having auto dubbing in other languages, where it's like AI. Anyone can click on a video. Anyone can click on your video, and it'll be auto dubbed in another language. So I don't know how successful that's going to be, or whether that. I think that will be pretty good. I think it'll be pretty good, and will actually help people in other languages watch videos and stuff. I don't think it will be nearly as good as people actually translating videos for themselves and re-recording it in their own languages and so on. So, but yeah, we will get some redubs, Abu Ahruf, and it will be based. Warning about carnivore diet. I did it and started getting cramps in my sleep. You need to at least include fruit and other things. Well, if you're including fruit, then what are you doing? You're basically having a normal diet. But no, I don't even know what the requirements are and stuff like that. But by the way, what you just said is what I would anticipate. I would anticipate different people reacting differently. I would anticipate some people will be like, "Oh, I did this and it helped me with this problem," and I would expect other people, "I did this and it screwed everything up." And that's people have different body chemistries and body types and metabolisms and things like that, and so they're going to react differently. And so at the end of the day, if someone recommends something, you want to try it for a while and see what happens, and maybe it helps, and maybe it's a disaster. Breads G says, "Love your chug jug, David." Yeah, me too. I've had that thing for a long time, but I always had to keep refilling things during live streams until I started using that big one. Like I've still got my Jihadi Tears mug, but when I use this, I have to actually. This is just a regular size mug. It looked big when I was holding it out here, but just a regular size mug. What I need is you know what I need? I need a Jihadi Tears mug, but like the size of the other one, because this one I have to refill like 4 or 5 times and have to actually have a big jug of whatever I'm drinking right beside it. So, no stroke. Ugh. Don't blindly believe all you read. David, I love your big mug. So awesome. I love how rotten you are. We need more rotten Christian. I can see the pure hatred in your eyes. Is Diddy saved? Why would I think for a second that Diddy is saved? India Poop War. What is this? Jake Pual? Just sending love and support. Low carb diet is best. Don't skip your broccolis. Everyone who identifies as Muslim should be. What? Why you want to deport people, man? Reverse Sharia. That's what
You
AP
see,
thinks, by the way.
David says we should have mass migration. You see,
Carnivore diet cured my addiction to meth and coke. What's funny is what's funny is I don't know. People could have some reaction. I can't even tell if it's like no, it actually worked. I was addicted and I did this and it totally changed my system, or if it's just joking. Can't kind of.
Maybe that's
serious. I would guess joke, but I have seen some extreme reactions to some of that, which is why I would say if you're having problems that other people have had problems with and they think that some diet has helped them or something like that, you might want to try it. Worst case scenario, you try it for a month and doesn't help, and now you know. Coleman Hughes podcast, Human Mind into the Unknown with Richard Dawkins, 3940. Religious people are happier in secular societies than other groups. That is important. I might want to, I'm definitely going to check that out, and I will, if it looks like a good clip, I might want to make my own little video about that. Opinions on Baha'i and how it relates to Islam. Once again, I mean, I've heard from Baha'i people and stuff over the years. I generally don't like talking about things that I know very, very little about.
all I know about it is that it's an offshoot of Islam. I don't know anything else about it, so I always wanted to talk to one of those people. Didn't get to do it ever.
They would humiliate you.
Those people.
Hey, we should make a video like talking to a Baha'i person, but it's like fake and he acts exactly like a Dawa guy. Listen here, boy. You. That'd be funny. Nerd tears are 100% kosher. Should make a nerd tears mug, or better yet, hey, how about a Wingaling tears mug? Start drinking out of that. Is gamble sinful if I only win? Is gambling sinful if I only win? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I have to think about. Like if you had money that you. I think there would be obvious situations where it wouldn't be a problem. Like suppose you have money, you don't need it, you have an excess. It's not going to hurt your family or anything if you lose it, and you go to some charity card game where all the money's going to charity, so you know your money's going to charity or something like that. I would say clearly I wouldn't have a problem with that. If you're gambling to get rich or something like that, I don't know. It's I'm sure there are people who have official positions on this. I've never thought about, is this because I don't have a gambling issue, so I'm not gambling and stuff, so I'm kind of not thinking through it.
Thinking
carefully.
way too much about the question.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's would be my answer. When I tried carnivore, my dad finally came back from the grocery store with some milk. Let's see. We have carnivore cured my wingalingism. Oh, well, then the carnivore diet is my chosen preferred diet. Everyone should go carnivore and be cured of your wingalingism. Hey, look, we have Tarun here. What is the difference between a vegan, atheist, and Muslim? One, if for all gods but one. Okay, one is for all gods but one. One is for all gods ever, and the last is for meat and milk. So vegan is for all gods but one. One is for all. Atheist is for all gods ever, and the last is for meat and milk. Oh, they're not in that order. So vegan, you're avoiding meat and milk. Atheist, you are rejecting all gods ever. And Muslim, you're rejecting all gods but one. That's actually good assessment. Meth and coke cured my addiction to carnivore diet. That's good. Powerful. Yeah, Jake Pual says gambling diet cured my depression. That's good. And then we have Alex who says, "Mashallah, brother David, did you know Islam was first to start carnivore diet?" Muhammad invented the carnivore diet. How is this possible? Roof. David definitely had a gambling addiction and has been to a few Diddy freak-offs. That's true. Mashallah. Yes. Yes. Tons of baby oil. That's why I have bottles of baby oil everywhere. I don't even know what the situation, because I didn't follow the case. I don't know what I know it had something to do with baby oil, because it's basically, I was talking to Vocab. We were talking about whether we should have Diddy in the boom boom room and stuff. And he said, yeah, you got to have bottles of baby oil all over the place. I was like, uh-oh. I don't even want to
They found kind of tons of baby oil in his place or something. I don't know.
Interesting stuff. And AP, how's your Ramadan going?
Very based.
It's very based. You heard it. You heard it here, folks. AP's Ramadan is going very basedly. How much do we have left? Gosh, we're only halfway through Ramadan, man. I got to start posting more about. I'm going to need to start posting more about Ramadan.
Wait, it's Ramadan right now?
Yeah, I got to start posting more of my before and after pictures, and then when we get to the end of the month, it's funny. I'm still waiting for Eid al-Fitr because I got two jokes. I already shared with you one. Hey, Eid al-Fitr sounds exactly like Adolf Hitler. Coincidence? I'm just going to post that. And then my other one is Eid al-Fitr, more like Eid al-Fatter. And I post a before and after picture. See, guys, you got to come up with your jokes like way in advance, so you're ready for them.
Powerful.
It's going to be based. So how's your Ramadan going? Last couple here. Pity grandpa hat cured my Tovia Singer addiction. That's good. I tried the carnivore diet. It made my dad finally say he's proud of me and came back to the family. Keto fixed a lot. How did this become a diet show? All because of Jordan Peterson's carnivore diet. Keto fixed a lot of my health issues, but couldn't solve the Islamic dilemma. Sorry, Muslims. That's good. Keto can and the carnivore diet. They can solve all kinds of things. Nothing. Hey, hang on. Don't let me forget. I'm going to screenshot this just for that sounds like that could be an ongoing joke. This solved this, but it couldn't solve the Islamic dilemma. Guys, keep that in mind. Don't let me forget this. I'm seriously asking some of you to remind me. 99.9% of the plans I come up with and I say, hey, this is a good idea. I forget about them 10 minutes later and I never think about them again. This is one because we're going through our Islamic dilemma project. We're going through the entire Quran. Going to find every verse in the Quran that has anything to do with the previous scriptures. Look up we're going to go through the commentary. We're going to come up with the most thorough, perfect formulations of the Islamic dilemma ever. We're going to translate them into multiple languages, but then comes the issue of popularizing it. And so how do we popularize it? But some jokes like this, anytime anyone's posting, this solved this, the response should be instant. Oh, that solves that, but it couldn't solve the Islamic dilemma. And link to the video. That's actually perfect, Isaac. As I pointed out, I may not remember this idea, so someone will remind me of it, and I will use it. So I probably will not remember to give you. Matter of fact, I guarantee I will not remember to give you credit. But when you see it happening, Isaac, you can have bragging rights and say, "Hey, I'm the one who said that."